As we near the back half of the NFL season, it's almost December, and it's time to do a pulse check on our head coach hot seats across the entire league. Today, as we mentioned before, every single head coach we're going to rank in a hot seat tier. We got 5 tiers here today.
We're going to start off with Jets head coach Aaron Glenn, and at least in my personal opinion, given the fact that he's traded away 2 of the staples of the team, I got to assume he's safe. I know the team has been horrendous, and I know at some points throughout the year it feels like he might have been in this category. But realistically speaking, I do think the front office is high on Aaron Glenn, and I think they're going to give him some leeway. So unless you think it might be questionable, I'm going to put him in safe, but I'll let you speak on this one.
To be devil's advocate, he hasn't won football games, but it's year 1. But
it's the Jets.
It's the Jets, exactly. On the side that you said, though, what speaks louder than winning and losing, what are they doing with their team? What are they doing with the GM? How are they in lockstep? Like you said, if we're trading away 2 star players, clearly we have a plan, and you would have made a move off that head coach before you did any kind of damage quite like that, because he has to sign off on that as well. So he seems completely safe, honestly safer than majority of these coaches, I might say. He has a timeline. Time is a thing that NFL coaches would pray to have. He's got at least another year and a half in my eyes, if not more.
Yeah, especially because they traded for future draft assets. It almost was like a safety net for him and the front office just to say, hey, give us a few years. So I think he at least has next year to prove his worth and probably even the year after that. Next is Mr. Andy Reid, who big-time win for the Colts. He's not going to get fired. My question, does he retire? That would be my question.
But is that a separate tier?
At the same time, that's I guess that'd be questionable, right? Because
you're right. Because
this is a hot seat tier list, not a retirement hot seat tier list. So
we probably need a 5th or 6th tier,
which would be retirement.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put him in the back end of safe then, just to
cool.
And we'll throw the caveat: he might retire because he's getting up there in age. The Chiefs are on, let's be honest, a bit of a slide right now. They might make the playoffs. They might not. My Cowboys got them on Thanksgiving, so we're on a hotter right now, so we might as well just go ahead and pack it up and head to Cancun, Mr. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. We got this one in the bag. I'm nervous. I really am.
That's going to be cinema, though. Like, the scriptwriters couldn't have done a better job. An absolute must-win for KC, and then the Cowboys are
it's
good.
A must-win, too.
Question mark? Yeah, must-win as well.
It's a must-win for both these teams. One more loss, I mean, I still think the Chiefs could make it in with 1 or 2 more losses because the AFC is kind of the
messy.
Top end's good, the back end not so much. Whereas you look in the NFC, it's like, yeah, if you're a 12-win team, you might not make the playoffs this year, which is crazy to think about.
It's true. Very top-heavy. So, yeah, I think safe's perfect. Just consider him. Where would he retire is my question. Pick a location for me, Metro.
Andy Reid, Hawaii would be number 1. 2, I could see him just chilling out in Florida. Anywhere by a coastline, anywhere where a beach is nearby, where you could just get a pina colada. Yeah, well, there's always burgers everywhere, but I'm mainly thinking like he's gonna go to, I don't know, In-N-Out, get 2 burgers, then go head to the bar, get a drink, and then eat and drink everything on the beach. Like that's what Andy Reid's future is gonna look like, and I'm very jealous of his future, by the way.
Sounds phenomenal. Thank you for the elite NFL analysis right there. Next up, is that Ben Johnson? I can't see too well.
Mr. Ben Johnson. If he gets fired, then nobody's safe. So I'm not even going to think twice about this one. He is having a stellar year with that team. Sure, they're going up against JV squads. I mean, they haven't beaten a single team worth a damn. And the one time they were going to, the quarterback decided to flip off cameras and not show up for work because of an injury. So they went up against Mason Rudolph. And look, the Bears, give them their credit. They're winning football games. Realistically speaking, when they face the Eagles on Friday and when they start facing better competition, it's going to go down a little bit. At least I think. I hope I'm wrong, though, because I want to see the Bears destroy the Eagles. So, but we'll see. I think Ben Johnson's totally safe.
Talk about a great Thursday and Friday lineup. They're Black Friday against the Eagles. Y'all have the Thursday game. Well, there's multiple Thursday games, but lock in for Thanksgiving is the point. Let's move forward. Who's that next, Metro?
Brian Schottenheimer. He is safe. And can I say, I'm gonna speak on this one. I owe this man a heavy apology because even before the season started, I was already like, this guy's gonna be here by week 7, and I love this guy. Like legitimately believe that he is an awesome head coach. Because number one, schematically speaking, this Cowboys offense is one of the best offenses in football, and they're fun as hell to watch. They can run the football. They're physical. The passing game has been incredible, and Dak looks like incredible as well. But then it's also the other stuff too, right? I mean, we're talking about like a player on this team passed away, like Marshawn Nealon passed away, and very sad, situation and everything. And Schottenheimer kept the team together, kept the team galvanized, kept them pushing forward, and now they're back-to-back wins versus the Raiders and now the Philadelphia Eagles. And realistically speaking, obviously I would like Dallas to be better than what they are. I don't really put too much of the blame on Schottenheimer. Like, the team was just not good enough the first half of the season. They made the big trades. Now the team is really talented and has 2 first-round picks to work with next year. And I feel really confident in Schottenheimer. So, I mean, again, we were down on this one. I did a video on my channel ranking all the hires. I think I put Schottenheimer last. And
I get it.
And you really can't blame me either, because, like, Schottenheimer was hired from the same coaching staff that Mike McCarthy was in, and it was like, this is the most uninspiring hire in the world. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I think the coaching search went down to the final 2 being Kellen Moore and Brian Schottenheimer, and I was like, I hate both of these options. And I'm firm, and I love this guy from like the second he took the stage, and then the second I saw the team on offense was actually good, I was like, okay, all right, I like this guy. This guy's good.
Schottenheimer, we were unfamiliar with your game, and we sincerely apologize. Like you said, Metro, he's been leading a team, and you know that the Cowboys have got some, I'd say, strong personalities and also some crazy life curveballs that they've had this year. So he's taken on a lot as a head coach, done a fantastic job. I'm ready to move forward if you are. You had your coach, now it's my coach. Yep. Metro, I just kind of want you to talk here because I heard things about Dan Campbell that make me question things as a Lions fan. Like when you change the expectation of your team and then you're not going 10-2, some people say stupid things. See, this guy's got it in fired category. So I want to hear your thoughts. Like, make me level set me here. What are your true thoughts from an outside perspective on Dan Campbell?
Yeah, I mean, I like Dan. I think Dan is more of the leader type than the schematic type. And this year he's been thrusted into a role where his offensive coordinator left, his defensive coordinator left, both in which are 2 excellent coaches, and one of them, I mean, we're talking 2 guys that are both safe and going to be head coaches for next year, so clearly they have both worked out in some ways, and he's replaced them with guys within the building. The offensive coordinator position obviously did not work out because now he's calling plays. Defensive coordinator has been, dealt a tough hand, but he's doing his job. For Dan, I think he is safe, and if they were to fire him or even consider firing him this year or next year, I think it'd be kind of ludicrous. The team itself just is not as good as what they have been the past few years, and that's what happens when you have to pay Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Reed, eventually Jack Campbell. Like, you got so many guys you have to pay that certain positions are going to hurt because of it, like the interior offensive line, which has not been as good as maybe what they thought it was going to be, right? You lose your guard to Tennessee, your starting center retires, you have to replace those pieces, and I think they've done a decent job, and they're going to have more pieces to work with in the future, but clearly that line has not been as good, and then because of that, Goff has taken a bit of a step back, the run game has been inconsistent, and that's just kind of what the season has been. Still, they're going to make the playoffs, and I still think they have a great chance of making a deep playoff run because they're very talented. So, no, I think Campbell's very safe, but, if there's anybody questioning him as a coach, like, give me a break. Like we got to give these head coaches some time. If you got a good one, you stick with them. That's why Mike Tomlin has been the coach for the Steelers for what feels like 80 years. Like, he's a good head coach. You don't get rid of a good head coach, or else you're going to be in the same situation that the Jets have been for so many years and the Browns have been for so many years, except for maybe Stefanski's pretty good, but he might get fired, so we'll see.
Never know. We'll get there in a second. Thank you for level setting with me, Metro. Let's move on to Dan Quinn, head coach of the Washington Commanders. Now, commies this year have not been what we thought, but also Daniels has been hurt a little bit, right? So, Metro, what are we thinking? You thinking the questionable tier right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's not safe, right? No. First year, they kind of came out of nowhere, and it was, like, really fun. And then this year, I'm going to give him a big break here because his entire team is old as hell. And we talked about that during the offseason, how I was not a fan of what they did. And I feel pretty justified now. But in addition to that, the Jaden Daniels injury, the Terry McLaurin stuff, the Deebo Samuel stuff, Austin Eckler tore his Achilles to start the year off. You already had some injuries on the offensive line coming into the season. And then defensively speaking, guys who you put faith into, Marshawn Lattimore, Bobby Wagner, those older players have taken a big step back. Like Marshawn is almost unplayable, and you put Bobby Wagner on a one-on-one with a running back, he's getting dusted out there. And that's what happens when you're starting a 50-year-old linebacker. So to Quinn, I think he's fine, right? He took over a roster in Washington that was void of talent, took them to the NFC Championship game in year one. I think the last thing you'd want to do is fire this head coach while your quarterback is, still very young, right? Especially with the young offensive coordinator too. So I would put him in questionable just because he's not safe, but I'm also not going to throw him up in warm or hot or fired. I think questionable is probably the best way to put him at now. And frankly, by the way, them having a really bad season is really good for their future. To get a young player, trade back, get even more young players, rebuild this roster with some youth, and build it all around Jaden Daniels because this team is old.
Completely agree, man. And also, if you're going to blame the losses, I think it's almost more on the GM personally because they established this team. Go ahead.
To be fair to that GM, he also inherited a team from the previous regime that was horrendous.
True.
So, in his defense, now granted, in his undefense, if that's how you would say it, he also still made the trade for Marshawn Lattimore. He still made the signing of Deebo. The Tunsil thing is brilliant. Tunsil's been great, so I'm not going to complain there. But he did decide, hey, I'm going to go all in on these 30-plus-year-old players, which, look, they were kind of in a rock and a hard place because it's like, we just made the NFC Championship game. We have all this money to spend. We can't just not do nothing. But I think they went about the process the wrong way. So, but yeah, I mean, look, they're safe. I just think give them one more year to prove themselves. But next year, if they're a bad football team, might be up here. But this year, I'm cool with them right here.
Completely agree. Like you said, one more year, we got question marks. But as of today, let's stick here in questionable for Dan Quinn. Next up, Panthers head coach Dave Canales. And Canales, let me just say the Panthers' current record. They currently sit at, where are they? They're 6-5 on the season. And for Panthers fans, you were one game away essentially from the Detroit Lions. They're at 8, you're at 9. I consider that a pretty good season so far for the Panthers. Bryce Young has been really shaky early on, and then he's had a couple of good games here and there. We're figuring it out as a point. Metro, I would probably say warm, but what do you say?
Yeah, I'm between warm and questionable because Canales is an offensive coach, but the offense has been bad for most of the season, right? Mm-hmm. They've been winning games almost in spite of the fact that their offense has not been great, right? Like Bryce Young, you take away this most recent game versus the Falcons, I think only had like one other game with over 200 passing yards. And I like Bryce, and I'm rooting for like hell for Bryce. I want Bryce to work out because I think the game is better when the Panthers are a fun, dabbing team and all that stuff. I just think they're much more fun. And I like Canales. As the head coach, though, I don't know, right? So that's why I kind of lean with you on warm. What he's doing this year has been good. This Panthers team is probably not a 6-5 roster, but they are 6-5, and with Baker Mayfield being injured for Tampa Bay, that might open up the possibility of them to win the freaking division, which if they do that, then he's safe, right? I do believe the back end of their schedule is a bit more harder, so I think they might end the season 7-10 or 8-9, something along those lines, and might make the playoffs, depending. But I think warm seat's about appropriate for him, just because the team's winning games almost in spite of his offense. So, but again, Bryce is coming off his best game, and they're about to play football here in a few hours. So whenever that game happens, maybe this video will age like milk. So keep that in mind. We're recording this at Monday at 6 o'clock, not after their game for San Francisco. So keep that in mind.
Bryce Young, 6 touchdowns, 500 yards, and we look like dumbasses. Well, yeah,
safe.
let's put him in safe. He is good. But as of today, let's put him in warm seat because, like you said, if he goes on like a 3-game slide, then it goes pretty quickly to hot. So let's go on to our next coach. We have D'Amico Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans. Texans this year, we thought they were going to be pretty close to a powerhouse. They currently sit at 9th in the AFC at 6-5. Underwhelming for expectations, but here we are. Metro, I would lean questionable, but I'm not quite at warm yet. He's shown a good amount of an ability to build a team over the past couple of years, but I want to hear your thoughts, man. I want to hear your rebuttal.
Yeah, I would lean questionable, leaning more towards safe, just because, and I'm going to use kind of the same thing I used about Canales, but in favor of D'Amico. D'Amico's in charge of the defense, and their defense is maybe the best or second best in the entire NFL. And the offense has not been great, but it has been getting better the past few weeks. If this team doesn't make the playoffs, I still think he's generally fine. It would just be very disappointing, right? And the next year would sort of be the year where he has to prove his worth and, get back on track. If they make the playoffs, though, I think he's fine because realistically speaking, this Texans team is not ready for a deep playoff run yet because of just, the offensive line not being great, the run game being inconsistent. And if they can fix up that unit this offseason, which I think should be their number one priority, then I think they should be fine, right? But I think resetting at head coach is probably one of their least concerns right now. Their biggest concern is going to be on the offensive line. So I'll leave it up to you. If you want to put him questionable, that's fine. I would probably lean towards like right in the middle, more towards safe. But if you put him questionable, I don't disagree.
Fair. I'm going to push him towards questionable because I agree. He's a fantastic head coach, but we're having to debate this in my eyes. Yeah. And for that, like if he had a slide next year, correct, like same for Dan Quinn, same for him. Now moving towards warm. But as of right now, he's definitely safe, but we're just going to question it. We're going to talk about it. So if your game, let's put him in questionable.
I agree.
Aligned. Let's go to Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the Chargers. Metro, are we moving this guy out of safe? I don't see a reason to, personally.
No, if this team is just battered on the offensive line, and this is an offensive line identity, right? And you take away your 2 best tackles, your interior's been banged up all year. It's just like, what am I supposed to do? And that's just been the case. The team is still over 500. They still have a great chance of making the playoffs. Herbert's playing well. Obviously, Harbaugh's got to take some criticism too, but his identity and what he wants to do is run the damn football. Najee Harris out for season. He came into the season with an injury as well. Amari and Hampton been on IR for a while now. Your 2 tackles have been out for basically the entire season. Obviously Rashawn the entire season. Joe Alt most of the season, and then Mekhi Becton's been hurt. The other pieces have been hurt. Like it's just only so much you can do, right? And so I'm not going to put too much blame on him. I still think he's one of the best coaches out there.
Totally, I'm there with you. I got nothing to argue about it. You want to go to his brother here in John Harbaugh of the Ravens? My goodness, I got there.
Yeah, this one is tough because if we recorded this 4 weeks ago, I think we'd be on like warm, not hot, not fired, but warm. But the team has bounced back. They're playing better. They still feel like they are a threat in the AFC. So I'm willing to put him in questionable. And the other thing too is like he's an experienced coach that's been on that staff for a long time, has led them to so much success. I'm gonna say the same thing I said about some of these other coaches. If you got a good one, why fire them, right? Even if it's just one disappointing year. Like you got to think long term. So I would put him in questionable. But again, a few weeks ago it was probably more warm, but they've responded and played a lot better. They still might win the division, which is crazy to think about because like 5 weeks ago they were 1-5, and Pittsburgh was like 4-2, 5-1. But now the tide has completely flipped in the Ravens' favor. So, yeah, shout out to them. They're playing good.
I think there's another dimension here that John has with his GM that just cannot be matched. Him with Eric DaCosta. Yeah. Sorry if I said that incorrectly. They are like this. And the fact that they are staying at the hip and they power through and now they're back in the race for their division, I see him as safe as they come, but if we're talking about it, we're having a conversation, so if you want to leave him in questionable, I completely understand.
Yeah, we'll keep him there. Next is Jonathan Gannon, and
Payne.
Boy. Yeah, Payne. We were very high. I wouldn't say high. We both thought they'd be good this year. Because every year they've taken a step forward under him as the head coach. And this year it has just been a total collapse. Now, in fairness, there have been injuries, so I'll give him a break with that one. But this team is not good. I don't know if he gets fired, but I got to put him in hot seat. He's definitely not chilling over there. It's hot or fire to me, which is a shame because I thought the first 2 years were kind of promising, right? You saw some improvement with the team. This year, though, Kyler has completely flamed out. They have not gotten Marvin Harrison Jr. fully going. Yes, injuries, but still. And then the defense, while improved, has looked horrendous the past few weeks, like just god-awful. So he's in hot seat, and that's kind of a shame because I was really liking where the team was heading. But, and the other thing, too, the other dimension you got to throw into this, he's in a division with Sean McVay, Mike McDonald, and Kyle Shanahan. That's those are three of the best football coaches in football. So I'm sorry, Jonathan Gannon just doesn't move me over the likes of some of these other guys we'll talk about in a bit. But he's in hot seat for sure. Not sure he gets fired, but it's definitely. Do you think he gets fired? Be honest, because I think he probably does. I don't know. It's tough.
Do I think he should get fired, or do you think he's going to get fired? Is that which one's the question?
Well, both. Which one do you think he should be fired, and do you think he will get fired?
Like you mentioned, he's made progress every year. Football's so unpredictable, and there's so many things that can happen with injuries. I'm going to say I hope he doesn't get fired this year, but truly, if the slide continues, if they finish with 3 or 4 wins in the season, I see it being pretty scary for Gannon.
All right. Next up, Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, head coach of the Saints. Saints currently sit at an awesome record of 2-9. But Kellen, overall, we knew what this year was going to be. If you thought the Saints were going to be a playoff team, you're smoking crack, just calling it what it is. So yeah. I think we're feeling safe. If you want to go questionable, we can talk about that. But what do you think, Metro?
Even though I don't think he's done a great job this year, he is a first-time head coach. He's the youngest head coach in football. You've seen the offense have moments, and you knew the team was going to be bad. So I don't think. Plus, it's the Saints. I just don't think the Saints are going to rush to make this thing work instantly. I think they hired Kellen Moore with the thought process that this will be a 2 to 3 to 4 year build, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put him in safe. Now, if this was his third year, then yeah, we're talking up here somewhere. But it's his first year as a head coach, so I'm willing to give him some slack with this one.
Totally. I'm right there with you. I got nothing else to say. Next up, we got the Vikings head coach, Kevin O'Connell. So sorry, guys. It's been a day for me. Here we are. Kevin O'Connell. This is the debate. We got 9 to talk about. The quarterback. They took a swing, has been a year, but also he's technically a rookie, so how hard on him can we be? So there's this whole equation with that and the young quarterback, and we know he's a fantastic head coach. But does this change how you think about Kevin, Metro?
No. I just think JJ's that bad.
Fair.
I mean,
see, that's a valid answer.
Look, Kevin O'Connell has made Sam Darnold resurrect his career.
From the
he
dead.
Made Kirk Cousins have career years.
Mm-hmm.
Even Carson Wentz had this offense functional. JJ's just bad. Okay? Now he's young, and I don't want to and it's the weirdest thing ever because I hate doing this to a young guy. Because he is young. Like, this is his first year starting. He's only played 6 or 5 games. But he has showed me nothing. Like, he is just bad at... I don't want to say bad at everything because, like, that's just mean. But, like, he's been bad at everything, right? He's just been bad. He doesn't take care of the football. He's like, 6 touchdowns to 10 interceptions through 6 or 8 or 5 games, something crazy like that. He oversells every throw, right? Just sailing balls. Throws the ball in double coverage, doesn't process well. The only good thing I'll give him flowers for is that dude can run. He is a really athletic quarterback. But even then, you didn't draft JJ to be an athletic quarterback. So this is not a shit on JJ video, but the shitting on JJ has a lot to do with Kevin O'Connell. And now my question is going to be, does Kevin O'Connell put his job on the line next year and the year after to say that he can fix JJ? Or does he look at the reality of the situation and say, JJ might not be fixable, and I might have messed up? So I think he's safe. I think the better question is the GM safe? Because the GM, if you kind of look back a little bit, has made some questionable decisions at times. And I know a lot of Vikings fans are putting more of the blame on him, more so than Kevin O'Connell. So I think they're fine, but I think, what's his name? Kwesi, I think is how you pronounce his first name, is
right.
more somebody that's a bit more on the hot seat. But I think O'Connell's definitely at least got one more year in him. So I'm going to give him that.
Yeah, man. I'm going to talk about JJ for 20 seconds, and I'll shut up about it. JJ McCarthy, he's technically a rookie, right? He's a young quarterback, didn't have his rookie season. There's guys like Peyton Manning to have horrible rookie seasons. Okay?
Yeah.
Am I calling him Peyton Manning? Hell no. I've seen him play too. It's been rough. I also watched him play my Lions, and he looked good against us. Kind of strange, but point is, that's the question. Does Kevin bet on JJ? Does he put his job and his name on the line for this rookie quarterback, for this young quarterback? And I think the answer is he's going to give him to the end of this year, and then he probably moves off. As bad as that is, I think he has something special there in Minnesota, and he's not going to wait for it to expire for one person. That's just my thoughts. We keep him in safe for right now, unless we feel differently, Metro.
Now, that is going to be the story of the offseason for me. Mm-hmm. Well, at least one of. What do the Vikings do at quarterback? Because they've invested so much into JJ, so much so that they let Sam Darnold walk. And Darnold is now a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, having an incredible year in Seattle, in a Seattle team that is a legit contender. And then you look at Minnesota, and what do they have? 4 wins on the season. They're 4-7. Yikes. That's tough. So he's safe. I like Kevin O'Connell a lot. If he got fired, boy, there'd be some teams calling him up immediately, and rightfully so. There would be teams. Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. But there would be teams that have head coaches that would be like, "You're out, Kevin O'Connell. You're in."
Like
I'm not
like
even
Mike
kidding.
Tomlin. See ya, buddy.
No, not even kidding. If Tomlin is tough. The Steelers love him, Mike Tomlin.
But the point is, security's not secure when Kevin is on the block.
Yes, 100%. If Kevin says, "Hey, I want to be a Steeler," the Steelers would have a tough conversation to have. So,
Completely.
yeah.
Quick stat line. Talked about Peyton Manning's rookie season. This is how ass it was. 26 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. I mean, that is abysmal. Now, we'll see how this works out. Okay.
Can I tell you another one that's worse?
Hit me.
Troy Aikman, rookie year, 1,749 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 18 interceptions.
Good God, man.
I think they lost every game.
Good God.
So,
there's something to be said sticking with it, right? But this is a different age of football.
Yes. So, JJ, get ready to learn. What is he on? CBS? Fox NFL? Whatever Troy's on, get ready to learn broadcasting, buddy.
You're going to do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, you're going to have a great career.
Let's move forward to another really good topic. We got Mr. Stefanski of the Browns, their head coach. Now, he was a hot hire when he came out and he joined the team, but it is clear this year they're on the hot season with the whole quarterback debacle. It's been a damn shit show. So, Metro, what are you thinking?
I think this very much depends on what he does at quarterback moving forward, because I think he wants Dylan to start next week and for the future. I think the fans would have a riot. I think there would be a riot in the stadium, just calling for his head. As graphic as that sounds, not literally, figuratively. And frankly, I kind of don't disagree with them. Shador, for as average to, okay his debut was, he scored 24 points, which was their second highest output of the season. He had multiple explosive plays, including, I think, 3 plays over 30 yards. And sure, it's the freaking Raiders. I could go play the Raiders and have success. But that's not the point, right? It's the first time that a quarterback has looked functional for the Browns, right? So I think it largely depends there. And then if he does commit to Shador for the rest of the season, does Shador play well? If Shador plays well the rest of the year, then I think you have the conversation about Stefanski being a bit more down here. If Shador shits the bed the rest of the way, then I think you have to reset. And that's going to be the tough question, right? Because, and there's so many layers to this too, because they have 2 first-round picks. next year. They're going to be in a position to potentially take a quarterback next year. But what if Shedeur plays well, right? Does the team say Shedor's the guy and we're going to build around him, which is going to be a crazy turnaround, right? If that's the case, then I do think Stefanski keeps the job. But if Shedeur shits the bed and the team's trash and Dylan, gets put back in and he's just, Dylan Gabriel, then I think Stefanski gets fired and I think they reset with a new head coach and a new QB1. So I think it largely depends on how the quarterback plays. And look, I'm not a Shedeur hater. I love me some Shedeur Sanders. I love his personality. I think he's great. I don't think Shedeur is the starting quarterback in the league at this moment. So I think he probably gets fired. So I'm going to put him in hot seat. That's where I would put him at.
Approved. Let's go hot seat. We know he's got talent. We know he's a good coach. If you've seen him on Hard Knocks, like last year's midseason whole episode, he's doing the best he can to keep morale up in Cleveland, and that might be the hardest job in America. So he's definitely got talent, but at some point it's got to flip over. Just for reference, the next couple of games, that if Shedeur or Gabriel starts, it is at home against the Niners, the Titans, and then on the road against the Bears. That's the next 3 games. I would start Shedeur during those, see how it works out. You got nothing to lose. And like you mentioned, he at least showed some juice that we haven't seen all year.
100%. Liam, I think we could just do this quickly. Cohen, Shanahan, you're safe. Cohen, hey, buddy. Started off a little rocky, that transition from Tampa to the Duval thing. A little rocky there. But he's got that boat rolling. Jacksonville looks like a playoff team, despite the fact that I don't think they've really played great this year. They've been able to win games. And for Shanahan, what he's doing on a retirement home, on a team that has dudes in casts, with a team that has Brandon Ayuk not even showing up, is incredible, right? He has this team in the wild card, and and it was so funny because he was on like the hot seat after the season, and it was stupid then.
So
but now it's like, yeah, this guy's good. Like this guy, one of the best coaches in football. So I give him a ton of flowers.
Untouchable. Who's that, Metro? Who am I looking at right there?
This is Mike Kafka, the interim head coach for the Giants. And I want to say this. I don't think he's fired. So the Giants love him. The ownership loves him, apparently. And I will say this. Since the firing of Brian Daboll, the Giants haven't looked terrible. Like this past week, they gave hell to the Detroit Lions. And then versus the Packers, which I believe was Daboll fired after the Packers game, or was he?
I'll double check right now. You keep talking. I'll look it up.
But I will say I think they're giving Kafka a real chance to prove he deserves the job long term. So I don't want to put him in fired, right? We're going to put another coach that's like, I'm going to spoil it here. McCoy, I think is his name. He's going to get fired at the end of the season. So for him, it's a bit more, Mike McCoy. For him, it's a bit more cut and dry. For Kafka, I don't think it is because I think the team likes him a lot. So I would put him in warm seat because it frankly could go either way. He could stay or he could go. And if it was up to me, I think it is all dependent on how he does the rest of the way. And if this game versus the Lions is any indicator, then yeah. Oh, and by the way, I think Kafka was one of the decision makers in the firing of their defensive coordinator. Like there is quotes being said that it was the quote-unquote right time to move on from Shane Bowen, which is not something you typically hear from an interim head coach. So I think he's in the warm seat. If he does well for the Giants the rest of the way, I think he probably has the job for at least one more year, which that'll be interesting. I wonder how Giants fans feel about it. But I don't think he's cut and dry. I don't think he's going to get fired like Mike McCoy is. Sorry, Mr. McCoy, but you're going to get fired. You're going to get replaced. But, for Kafka, I think it's a bit more unclear, frankly.
Completely. The market this year for head coaches is a little bit different than usual. I would say less talent than typically. So I like your ranking there, Metro. Approved. And to answer your question, he got fired after the Bears game. They lost 24-20.
Yeah, and look, against the Packers, they fought him to the end.
They really did.
Yeah, I mean, Kafka's doing a job.
That's all you can do, man. Absolutely all you can do. Next, we got the Green Bay Packers head coach. Matt LaFleur. And LaFleur is leading this team quietly to a 7-3 season, completely in the playoff hunt and one game behind of the North. I felt like at the beginning of the season, this team was going to be unstoppable, right?
Yeah.
And they've been really good, but just not the elite level, at least I thought they were going to be personally. So he's definitely safe. I have nothing else to say besides that, but just a different set of expectations than we started with in the season.
Yeah, I think if you were to ask some illogical Packers fans, they would have him here. Right?
Really?
Oh, yeah. There are some Packers fans that just, the
Spoiled?
second their offense plays bad, it's LaFleur stinks, he's trash. And it's the same conversation I'll have about other coaches, too. The second this guy were to get fired, he would have a job within 15 minutes, right? So if you have a head coach that is highly sought after, why fire him? It makes no sense at all. I don't think he's safe, but I would put him in probably questionable because the offense has not been as good as maybe what people are hoping it to be. The team still has a great defense. He's still a good head coach. He's a good leader. Why fire a guy that's clearly decent at his job, right? Decent to can be great at his job. So, no, I disagree. I think he should be more than safe, but questionable is where I'll put him at.
Cool. That's completely fair. Let's move forward. I'm a little bit blind here. Who's at Metro?
Mike McDonald, easy.
Oh, he's good. Seahawks head coach. Dude's safe. Next up, we got Mr. Caprice. Oh, man. Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins head coach. Talk about being an absolute roach. Dude, yeah, we thought he was done for week 3. Week 4, we're like, oh, he's cooked. No chance. Call Arby's, put in the application.
Dog.
He has had this team performing better over time. So, Metro, this can go anywhere. What are your thoughts?
We did a Miami Dolphins mock rebuild, and we were like, okay, we're going to drop this video if they win. And then they won. And then we've just kind of been waiting for them to go back to being crap. But they just keep hanging in there winning games. So that Dolphins rebuild video, it's gone in the trash. We got to redo that one. I don't know, to be honest with you. This is the issue with keeping a head coach on staff that you probably wanted to fire, but they didn't fire him when the pan was hot. And now McDaniel's done a really good job of fixing the issues and getting the team back on track to the point now where it's like, it almost feels illogical to fire him, which is bizarre because the reason why you'd want to fire McDaniel was culture reasons, resetting the roster, et cetera, et cetera. But he's done such a good job of just bouncing back and getting this team back to being a competitive team that he went from legitimate fired, like he is going to get fired any second now, to hot seat, to now I'm like, I don't think he gets fired after this year, at least if he keeps it up. So I'll put him in warm seat. I'll put him in front of warm seat, like leading towards hot and fired. But, man, the turnaround of this guy, all flowers to him. Oh, and by the way, I love the fact that after the Bills game, he rolled around to a Bills party and started just boasting in their face. This guy is like, he is me if I was a head coach, right? Like, I would just be, I mean, I don't vape, but this guy's vaping on the sidelines, just going in, just absolutely chilling, and then just trolling some Bills fans. I love this guy. I don't know if he's great for their team culture, realistically speaking, but he's got that team rolling, and credit to him. They're playing well, so I'll put him in warm seat.
Metro, you mentioned the definition of what they've done this season is the definition of coaching. You take the problems, you fix them, you mend them while the plane is flying midair. That's what he's done the past 4 games, 3-1, win against the Falcons, win against the Bills, big time, and then a win against the Commanders. Not big time, but a W. So if this keeps happening, he's sticking around. I like where you have him currently in this tier. Next up, this is going to be a very fun conversation. Mike Tomlin, head coach of the Steelers. Truth be told, guys, this is the safest coach on God's green earth. He's never moved and probably never will move until he's ready. And if you know anything about Mike Tomlin, he is never going to be ready. But, Metro, if we're ranking him today, what would you say? Personally, where would we rank him?
I feel like he's safe. However, the Steelers' choke job in the division, allowing Baltimore to bounce back and potentially win the division, and with the way the team is playing, makes me more questionable about this position. Now, it is Tomlin. He has the resume, the history. This team will probably finish above 500. So I think he's safe. But I'm going to throw him in the back of warm seat because I think there's a very real chance this team loses the division and maybe, just maybe, misses the playoffs. Which if they do that, that would be an all-time collapse, right, in all reality. So because I'm doing a bit of predicting here, I'll put him in warm seat. But if you want to put him in questionable, I'll leave that up to you. I think he's in one of the two for sure.
I agree with your analysis. I just can't look at those four and see Tomlin in that tier. So if you want to bump him to questionable, I would love that.
Yeah, this looks a bit more right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I love the breakdown. A little bit of projection here, but it's right. Next up, we got Mike Vrabel, head coach of the New England Patriots. They've been absolutely rolling this year. They're currently sitting at 10-2, the best record in the NFL. He might be fired tomorrow, Metro. No, he's safe as it gets. Do we have any conversations here besides that?
This might be the safest head coach in football. Like, no joke, he might be the safest. They're not going to fire him, obviously. If there's one singular Patriots fan out there that's like, I'm just not a big fan of this Vrabel guy, stop. Just stop. Go be a fan of somebody else because he might be I put him in the back for a reason. He is, to me, the safest head coach in football. I just don't see a singular reason why you'd fire him because he's done everything right.
Everything, and he's a young quarterback who's playing lights out. So his stepping stone to losing a job literally is 3 years minimum, at least in my eyes. So as you mentioned, safe as it gets. He's sleeping good at night, Metro, without a doubt.
1,000%. Now this one, you would think he'd be sleeping nice, but no way. Eagles fans hate this guy. And it's so funny because, like, bro, you just won a Super Bowl, man, with this guy as your head coach. But Eagles fans would have, like, they just can't stand him. And I find it kind of funny, but it is very interesting. So I'll let you start here. I don't think he's fully safe. I'll just put it that way.
It's almost like, and let me preface this. I don't know him personally. I'm sure he's a lovely person with great manners and an awesome family. But now I'm going to say this.
Seems like a dickhead, though.
Don't worry. I agree. But I never talked to the dude. Now, with that being said, it's almost like making a deal with the devil. If I have this guy who seems like kind of an asshat as the head coach of my football team, but we're winning a Super Bowl or two, would I put up with it? And the question at the end of the day is yes. You deal with it. If your team's winning, you shut the hell up and let it ride. We can admire at least one thing. He takes a lot of unique personalities, and when it seems like everything is falling apart, he makes it work. That is such a hard trait to acquire and learn, and some guys just have it, and some just don't. Sirianni has it, and that is the reason they've won Super Bowls. Super Bowl, singular.
Super Bowl. Well, they've been to two with him. So
true. Good point. Plural.
You're right. He's not safe. I'll put him in questionable, though. Eagles fans probably want him up here. Real fans probably want him somewhere right here. I'll put him right there. How's that feel?
That's fair. Because you're right. If he goes on a 3-game slide, everyone's calling for his head.
Oh, yeah. Well, them losing to Dallas was like almost as bad as them losing every game. Like, they hate losing to Dallas more than anything, and I loved it, by the way. It was great. But, yeah, if they lose to the Bears and they go on a bit of a skid here, oh, yeah, it's going to be way up here. But they'll make the playoffs. They'll win a playoff game or two, maybe make it to a Super Bowl. I don't know, but he'll be fine.
No question. Next up, we have Pete Carroll, head coach of the Raiders. Now, Pete Carroll, going into the season, we knew the team was kind of cheeks, okay? But we knew Pete, if you hired him, it was not a rebuild play. This guy is extremely old. It is let's try to win now, correct? We have a culture guy that we think can instill it right now, and we can roll and win a couple of games and at least be competitive. Just has not worked out that way this season. They currently are ranked 14th in the AFC at 2-9. Geno's been horrendous. The entire team's been horrendous. Metro, do you move off, call it one and done because you clearly have to rebuild, or are you giving this another year?
I think you have to. Team have to fire him.
Okay.
This team is so bad. So bad.
It's true.
Like, there's no real reason to like even try to describe it. They're just really bad. There's nothing good about this team. And then you also throw onto the fact that Their rookies are not playing. Genty looks bad, and it's not his fault, but he looks bad because his team's bad. And then the veteran quarterback you brought in is one of the worst starters in football. So putting him in fired is like I'm guaranteeing it, and I don't know if I can fully guarantee it because I could see the reasoning of just sort of saying, let's be bad for one more year, and then in 2027 we'll fire him and get a new quarterback and replace the vets. But if you know you're going to fire him anyways, just do it now, right? Don't even waste your time. So I'll leave it to you. Do you think he gets fired, or do you think it's a 50% or better chance he gets fired, or do you think it's less than 50% he gets fired?
Two-part answer. One, this feels a lot like the Gerard Mayo situation with the Patriots, where it was like, we're going to plug this guy in until a better coach comes along, and then we move off you. Okay, so that's my preface. Two, I think Tom Brady is a winner, and he's not going to stand for it and knows we have to bring this thing down to the scraps. And his quarterback is currently at the helm that they traded for. It's fired. You just got to blow the whole thing up in my eyes and move forward. And that's horrible. I love Pete. He's been so good to the game of football. But unless they went like rip off a winning streak out of nowhere, it just doesn't make sense.
No shot. If they go on a winning streak, boy, I'm never going gambling because anything can happen. All right. I would be willing to put so much money on that they probably win at most one more game. But hey, come back to this video if they go on a 3-game win streak, and boy,
Stupid.
That'd be funny.
Keyboard Warriors tearing us up.
Keyboard Warriors. Nah, I think they would agree with me. But if they don't, hey, that's on you, buddy.
That's fair. Next up, we got Raheem Morris, head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons currently stand, all right, 4-7, 11th in the NFC. Penix is hurt on a season-ending injury. He's had many of those before. Yeah. Penix is his guy. They took him higher than anyone ever expected. They didn't even know they were going to take a quarterback that year. They had Kirk Cousins on a big-time contract. So here we stand. A hurt quarterback, a team that's 4-7, and Kirko's still in the building, right? Like, he's just hanging around and playing. Like, it's the weirdest dynamic ever, man. With that being said, it's feeling kind of hot. That's just me, though. But what do you think?
Boy, tear the whole building down. Head coach, GM, tear it all down. Let's not forget, this is the same person. I'm not want to put all this on Raheem. It's the same guy, though, that signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $160 million deal. Then in the same year, within 2 months or something crazy like that, took the quarterback who is a 24, 25-year-old rookie who has an injury history. And then the Kirk thing goes terrible. They let Penix play. And then what do they do the very next season? They trade a 2026 first for James Pierce Jr.
It was wild.
Like, just idiotic stuff. I'm firing everybody. Just everybody. This team, for starters, coaching-wise, this team is way too talented to be a what are they, 3-7 or 4-6? Yeah, 4-7 football team. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, some good pieces on the offensive line. The defense actually has been not terrible this year. But you're 4-7, and the division is wide open this year. Completely open. By the way, the Falcons could still win the division. It's not over yet.
That's ridiculous.
It tells you just how bad the division has been. And then the cherry on top, Penix partially torn ACL. Just get rid of everything. I don't see him surviving. I think he gets fired. I actually think there's a better chance he gets fired than Pete Carroll, if I'm being honest with you, because he should be, and take the GM with you. The GM, whoever greenlit those trades, get him out, bro. Get him out. I'm done. I don't get it.
That's fair. You're right. Everything they did was pushing towards the Penix play was interesting, right? In hindsight, it seems kind of dumb, but in the moment, it's like, oh, they're doing the Packers thing. They're getting ahead of it. You're like, okay, maybe they're developing something, building for the long haul. But then you trade away your 2026 first for James Pierce Jr., who I loved last year in the draft. But even then, that was really rich when you have a team like the Giants that got back up in the first for a fraction of that price. So the GM's not handled this well. Raheem Morris's name is also tied to that. And you're 4-7 on kind of a must-win team right now with a ton of talent on it. We probably got to move forward just because we don't know where to look from now on.
Their GM Terry Fontenot, I think is how you say his name.
Fun now.
He is playing the Falcons like it's Madden. Year 1, drafts Kyle Pitts with a top 12 pick.
Hell yeah.
Year 2, drafts Drake London. Year 3, drafts Bijan Robinson.
Let's go.
Year 4, signed Kirk Cousins, drafted Michael Penix.
7 on 17. Keep it coming.
Year 5, takes a project linebacker edge rusher and trades a first-round pick for another edge rusher. This guy's playing Madden. I respect the hell out of it. But no, he's going to lose his job because he's not doing a great job, at least not in my opinion.
I'm with you, man. Nothing else to be said. Let's move forward to Sean McDermott, head coach of the Buffalo Bills. He's safe, all right? We got anything else to say about that or no?
Is he?
I mean, let's look at it. The Bills currently stand 7-4, so they're not 9-2, something stupid like that. But they've had success forever, and typically you see a quarterback fall off before the head coach does. But that's just my opinion. I think he's extremely safe. That's just me, though. But what do you think, Metro? Clearly we got a different opinion here. Like, I want to combat. I want to argue a little bit. Let's talk about it.
He's not fired. He's not hot seat. The highest he would be top of questionable for me.
Okay.
My thing is this. Have the Bills gotten better the past few years?
Josh Allen's gotten better.
Well,
but not
yes.
the Bills.
But the Bills around him have not got better. The team has gotten worse around him. And realistically speaking, barring a turnaround, the Bills are not winning a championship this year, right? It just doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. Despite the fact that the Chiefs are the worst they've been in a long time, the Ravens are the worst they've been in a long time, and the AFC is wide open. And they're having the worst year that I shouldn't say it. They're having maybe the worst personnel around Josh Allen. The defense hasn't been great, which is what his bread and butter is. The offensive line, dealing with some injuries. Receiving core has been terrible. I don't think he's safe. Plus, Bills fans, I think, would agree with me that they would be okay with him being gone. I think Bills fans would feel that way. So I don't think he's fully safe. I think questionable is probably where I would put him at. I don't think he gets fired, but there have been rumblings for a while now. And I just have to imagine if they don't make a deep playoff run, it might be more up here. So I would put him in questionable personally.
I'll meet you there. I agree. He doesn't feel like he brings like a secret sauce, an extra dimension, a real powerful leadership ability to this team. That's just me, though. Like, it feels like it's Josh Allen's show and everyone knows it, and they just kind of that's how they operate.
It's a pretty good show to watch.
You're damn right it is. You're damn right it is. Let's move forward to maybe an even better show. Yeah, just boom, boom. McVay goes in safe. Sean Payton goes in safe. And then Shane Steichen, the Colts head coach. Man, oh man, he has pulled this team from the gutter, from internal sadness, into an absolute powerhouse. Metro, he's safe, right?
Yeah. By the way, is that 3 Seans? Sean Payton, Sean McVay, Sean McDermott.
Sean.
Then we got Shane. I mean, that's basically the same thing.
Shane, Sean, Todd.
Well, then there's also like multiple Mikes as well. We're just missing Mike McCarthy.
So if you want your son to be a head coach, name him Sean or Mike is what I'm hearing.
I mean, it's like either that or Lombardi.
Can you imagine? I mean, I'm not going to say last name.
Sean Mike Lombardi. He's just born to be a coach.
That's so hard. That's so hard. Let's go.
All right.
Shane?
Boy. Shane was up here just 3 months ago. Now, you got to think he's safe. Unless they collapse, which I just don't think is going to happen. Even if they are a, divisional round loser, like, I think Colts fans would be like, okay, yeah, it's a step in the right direction. I think he's safe.
Totally. 1,000%. I got nothing else to say. The wins speak for themselves.
Yeah, so good for him. Now, Todd Bowles is interesting because
Talk to me.
the team is just plowed with injuries this year. Just plowed with injuries. But at the same time, does Todd Bowles move you as a coach? Right? I don't think he gets fired. I don't think he's hot seat. The highest I would go would be warm seat because, and this is really, if the Buccaneers lose the division, change might have to happen because there's no shot that can happen. It just can't happen, right? If they win the division and they can get healthy, I think they have a chance to make a run. But that feels like a bit of a stretch. And I hate to do it to him because his team is just so injured, but I would put him in warm seat. I don't think he gets fired, but I definitely think there's people in the building that are like, is this the guy? That would be the way I would think about it.
Hey, that's fair. I'll give two perspectives. One, I'm keeping Todd attached to Baker Mayfield because he's never had a consistent coaching staff. They clearly click together. I'd let him ride the entire contract. But now, if we're not winning, something's got to change. So I think warm is probably appropriate. It feels wrong, but we're currently sitting here with an injured team at, what are we at, 6-5? Am I reading that correctly? Yeah, 6-5. Yep. We're 2 losses off from being in a bad spot. We're 2 wins from being in an excellent spot. Let's see how it shakes out, to be determined, but right on the edge of warm and questionable. Final coach, Metro, take it away.
Yeah, Zach Taylor. Look, if there's one thing the Bengals don't do, they don't fire head coaches.
Or hire scouts.
That's what it feels like. I'm going to look at his contract because if he has years in his contract, okay, he's got 1 more year. So I don't think he gets fired. I just don't. I think he keeps the job because this is a team that hates spending money. Like they just don't like doing it. Right? Think about how many years they had their previous head coach. Despite all the terrible years, it was like, hey, he's under contract for 4 more years. He's going to be here for 4 more years.
Marvin Lewis, that was just a fly on the wall forever.
Yes, like he was there for what? For like 10 plus years.
Felt like ever,
silly.
yeah.
I don't think. Now, granted, should he be fired? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. It's done, right? The championship window is over. The team has been bad this year. It's not all on Zach. The Joe Burrow injury is terrible. The front office decisions have been terrible. The draft picks have been terrible. But Zach Taylor should still get fired. I'll put him in questionable because I don't think he does get fired because that front office is, I don't want to call them stupid because they got rich for a reason, but they're very silly.
Y'all are stupid. We're on microphones at the pocket. You're stupid as hell, but keep going. Yeah. You're right. I get it.
But they're very silly with their decision-making and their processing. That all said, Taylor got 1 more year in his contract. He ain't going nowhere. So the highest I can go is questionable. But if you want to take away the external factors and move him up here, I'm totally game for it.
I agree with everything you said. For the show, can we put him in hot seat or fired? Because he just feels like he's on borrowed time, man. The clock's just ticking. He knows it. We know it. We're just like, dude, when are you leaving? Because we already got the bags packed. We're ready for you to go.
Well, we might be ready for him. But
Bengals,
the GM, the owner, he's like, you can you can stay in the spare room for another year. We don't want to pay you off like that. Like that's just what they would say.
You're not wrong. Okay, sweet.
Right.
This is our tier list, guys. What do you agree with? Comment down below. What do you hate? What do you disagree with? Comment down below. We are on the road to 1K. We just hit 700 subs. Thanks to you. If you want to join this family in this community, go subscribe down below. It starts with you. We're on the road to 1,000. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. We appreciate y'all more than you know. Have the best day. Love y'all. We'll see you next time. Metro, get us out of here.
You guys have a good day. Peace out.